At 11:40 p.m., the night air in Simi Valley, California was quiet and still, the kind of silence that settles over suburban streets long after the last car has passed. Streetlights cast soft pools of gold across tidy lawns and shuttered homes. Neighbors, later shaken, would describe that night as one wrapped in a peaceful darkness that hid something unbearable. In that quiet driveway, a man and a woman, respected, ordinary, and beloved, were found fatally shot, side by side, in the place where they felt safest. He was a radiologist, calm and steady in his work. She was warm, gentle, the kind of woman who remembered everyone's name. Their home was modest, filled with signs of life: holiday lights, the hum of the refrigerator, a porch light they always kept on. The day before, they'd returned from a medical conference, tired but content, when their sedan pulled into the driveway. Nothing seemed unusual. No cars following, no headlights lingering. Just silence. Inside that silence, a gunfire. The patrol car arrived quietly, its lights casting harsh beams over the scene. The driveway, normally calm, was frozen in a moment of violence to bodies under white sheets, shattered fragments of a dropped mug, footprints crossing in chaotic patterns. A single glove lay in the middle of the path, like a misplaced punctuation mark in an unfolding tragedy. Word spread quickly. Curtains shifted. Text messages buzzed through the night. Parents held their children close as sirens echoed down the street. Residents who hadn't locked their doors in years suddenly felt exposed. A neighbor whispered, "They were good people, kind, always laughing," another said through tears. "It feels like the whole world just cracked open." By dawn, news crews lined the street. Crime scene tape fluttered like a yellow warning flag. Detectives moved in steady patterns, documenting every footprint and every quiet corner of the home. A dinner table sat untouched. A blinking answering machine held unheard messages. The contrast between domestic routine and sudden brutality was jarring. The early assessment pointed to something chilling. The murders were targeted. Nothing stolen. No forced entry. No shattered windows. Their car was untouched. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't random. Then came the call from 75 miles away. A black sedan, engulfed in flames on a remote stretch of highway, burned so intensely that firefighters could only watch until the metal cooled. Inside, they found a charred body, and beside it, a handgun, warped but still identifiable. Investigators immediately wondered, was this the killer? An accomplice? Someone cleaning up loose ends? The timing was too close. The distance too deliberate. It felt like a thread tugging the two crimes together, but the truth was still buried under ash and uncertainty. In the days that followed, Simi Valley felt frozen. Lawns went uncut. Porch lights stayed off. People avoided walking alone, even during daylight. A single siren anywhere in the distance sent anxiety rippling through living rooms. If this could happen to them, a resident said, it could happen to any of us. Detectives dug hard into records of phone logs, security footage, rental cars, alibis. They interviewed friends, co-workers, patients. Nobody had a reason to harm the couple. And that, more than anything, deepened the fear. At a crowded town hall, the sheriff tried to steady the room. "We don't yet know why this happened, but we will find answers." His voice echoed with both confidence and strain. Late one night, two women sat in a quiet diner, coffee cooling between their shaking hands. "I keep seeing their driveway in my mind," one whispered. "Like a photograph that won't fade." The other nodded, eyes fixed on the window. "Why them?" They weren't rich. They weren't involved in anything messy. Just ordinary. The randomness seemed to hurt most, the idea that violence could strike without logic. Then came a break. Ballistic tests showed the burnt gun from the sedan had markings matching the shell casings at the driveway. Even more shocking, a partial fingerprint on the weapon matched a profile from an unsolved shooting 5 years earlier. A cold case, long dormant, suddenly roared back to life. Detectives plunged into the old file, chasing leads once dismissed. It gave the families and the community something they desperately needed: hope. Yet as winter crept in, grief settled heavily. Children avoided the cul-de-sac. Neighbors walked quickly past the house, heads down. A single teddy bear placed near the driveway grew damp from nights of cold dew, slumping into the grass like a symbol of grief itself. Inside the home, even after the investigation ended, the silence felt overwhelming, a hollow echo where memories used to live. Investigators kept pushing. They traced a missing security camera from a neighbor's yard removed days before the murder. They found a gas can purchased from a store over 80 miles away. A traffic camera captured a partial license plate at 10:07 p.m. The black sedan itself, they learned, was a rental under a false identity. Piece by piece, a chilling picture formed. Someone planned this. Someone who covered their tracks, disguised themselves, and burned the evidence. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was calculated, cold. Intentional. The couple weren't just killed. Their lives were deliberately erased. As the investigation continued, the people of Simi Valley began holding small vigils on Saturday nights. Candles appeared in windowsills, flowers collected at the edge of the driveway. In soft whispers, residents prayed for justice, for clarity, for peace. Detectives sifted through every scrap of evidence, corroded fingerprints, damaged metal shavings, burnt phone fragments, digital data trails. With each new clue came a renewed push forward. They were determined to answer the question haunting the entire town: why? Why them? Why there? Why so calculated? Beyond the guns, the burned-out car, and the forensic timelines. This story remains a human tragedy, a reminder of how quickly a peaceful home can become a crime scene, how a community can lose its sense of safety in a single night, and how determined investigators must be to restore truth. The radiologist and his wife are gone, but their memory lingers in the neighborhood's grief, in the candles lit each weekend, and in the relentless pursuit of justice. Their light, though fragile, continues to flicker. And for that, no one in Simi Valley is willing to stop searching.